again. It's time for the Cummins Real Estate Group show with Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. Good morning, Michele.
Good morning, Curtis.
And how are you doing this fine Saturday morning?
It is a fine Saturday morning. I'm doing fantastic. You know what? There's ebb and flow in life, and I am always happy when good things happen. And I had some great things happen for some clients of mine this last little while, and things turned around for good. That didn't look so good for a while, and so very, very happy. Very good weekend.
Excellent. I was going to ask you something. I'm going to get it right off the get-go here because it's not off topic, but it's not something we discussed before. My wife has been a bit of a panic because my wife is addicted to TikTok, and a lot of people on TikTok who are by far they're no experts. They like to go on and say, "Oh, the real estate's going to crash. Real estate's going to crash," and all this. And I'm like, "No, it's not. They've been saying that for 40 years." So when you have these people going on social media that don't know what the heck they're talking about, what do you say as an expert when people are saying things are going to crash?
Every time people say things are going to crash, what they're anticipating is just a correction in the market, and it never corrects lower than it was before the hype, before the craziness of the market. And the only reason people start freaking out and getting worried and concerned is because prices are going up so high, so astronomically high, that they're really scared. They're like, what's going to happen? It's got to crash. But in actual fact, every single time, like you said, Curtis, they have said this, it's only corrected around 10 to 12%. And we have hikes. This is normal. We have them every 5 to 10 years. This last one came quicker because of COVID. But it's typical. It's regular. It's systematic. It just happens. And it only hike lasts about a year and a half on average. It's done that since the early 1900s. And it comes down eventually about a year and a half later. It starts slowly coming down about 10 to 12%. Then it starts kind of leveling out. But when you look at what the prices of properties were before the hike started and where they end up after the correction, is what I call it, is still higher than it was before, because we are on a slowly climbing mountain for the most part, with prices and equity built up in our properties here. And it's just every once in a while there's just an extreme hike, you got to climb the cliff at some times when you're climbing the mountain. So yeah, you know what, that's going to happen. It's inevitable. It can't keep on going up, but it's not going to be a crash. That word is just, it's not the right word to use, in my opinion.
Gotcha. Well, that's good, because that's exactly what I've been trying to tell people too, because I am not an expert, but I've learned a few things from doing this show with you. And I look back to my high school consumer ed class and my teacher saying, "Oh yeah, the prices can't keep going up. It can't go up much higher. People can't afford to live like this. And only with the cost of inflation can it go up much more." And here we are many, many years later, and no, prices are still going up.
Yeah, it's amazing. And there's a lot to say about that, and about how a lot of things are going up. Costs of things are going up. So it seems like everything's going up. But in real estate, it just seems so crazy because most of the hike happens all at once. And then it's kind of a slow rise, a slow progress. And so it's kind of a shock when it happens within a year. All of a sudden prices go skyrocket. But overall, when you stretch it out, it's really only about 6% or so a year in growth. And that seems kind of normal. It seems not too high. It seems good, not bad, but not amazingly high. So it's all relative. You got to look at everything, not just what's happening today.
Absolutely. And I guess thinking about it, last week we had a replay of the Easter show. So I imagine today, being the first episode of the month, I guess we're probably talking stats at some point.
We are going to talk stats, March stats, and I am, as you know, I'm very excited about it because it's I think, good news all around. So we're going to get to that in the second segment. But I wanted to say, I think it's a little crazy. I don't know what's happening. I think I create realtors in my family because my sister, my oldest sister, the first sibling of 8 siblings, she just got her real estate license on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
And I have 2 brother-in-laws that got their licenses as well. So I don't know what's going on, but all of a sudden we're going to be like we should start our own whole family company.
Well, I'm telling you, that reality show that I've been joking about might not be far off if you got the whole family involved.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So it's been fun. I had to congratulate her. It was amazing. She took her test on Wednesday, and she actually got the results the same day. She thought she was going to have to wait a couple weeks, which is normal, but she found out the same day, so it's so exciting.
That is very cool. Yeah, I mean, you guys could have an international company.
I want her to start. I was telling her, RE/MAX is amazing. They've got amazing training. They are the number one brokerage, sells more than any other brokerage. But John McConicle is a realtor down in Orange County area. And I said, you know what? He's a team leader and he's really good. And I said, you gotta, interview him or have him interview you, check it out. So it'll be interesting where she hangs her license and what she ends up doing there, because we still don't know.
You could start your own company and call it, well, you can't call it Magnolia. You'll have to come up with some other kind of tree.
Yeah, we'll think about that. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I wanted to announce to all of our listeners that we are going to give away some WHL Live Hockey Watch tickets to 4 lucky winners. So we have at the show here, we're gonna give it away starting now. So all you have to do is go onto our podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, download the Cummins Real Estate Group show, and then post a 5-star review. And be sure to leave your name so we know how to reach you, because we're going to give away 4 of these. So it's an opportunity to watch live. So each WHL Live voucher provides one lucky fan with a coupon code valid for one-time use and gives the user 24 hours of access to WHL Live on CHL TV. We might not be able to send you to the rink, but we don't want you to miss out on exciting WHL action this season. The attached, so we're going to have it, we're going to email it to you, and you'll have an attached live voucher as soon as you leave that 5-star review. And it'll include your unique coupon code. What's really neat, and the instructions on how to do it, but once you actually download it, you will be entered into a WHL prize package valued at $425 as well.
Wow, very, very cool.
Yes, so we're going to give that away. And, before we go on our segment or at a break, I wanted to mention, I had this really unique situation this last week of a client of mine. But there's this program called Deposit Rocket. So we're going to talk about what that is. There's a company, and it's more popular on the east coast of Canada, and it's been very successful in, I believe, Australia in different areas, but it insures buyers' deposits. Here in Western Canada, we haven't really seen it a lot. They're starting to use it on the island, but this is, we had a release come out also in the last little while about it, and then I had a mortgage broker talk to me about it, and a client of mine wanted to use it. It's called Deposit Rocket. So it qualifies you, and you pay a fee for a bond that ensures you are good for the money to come completion day. But buyers should be warned because, as I mentioned, we don't use it a lot here. So most brokerages, they want a bank draft that's in the trust account according to the Real Estate Council Act, and that's how it's typically done, either a bank draft that goes into trust or a bank wire transfer that goes into trust. But Deposit Rocket CEO Don Miller says Deposit Rocket allows the buyer to unlock their home equity instantly. The guarantee stands in the place of a cash deposit until closing. They can also unlock equity in their liquid assets. And if they're awaiting a gift from their parents, for example, they can access the home equity that exists in their parents' home live-in. So Miller noted on the report when he was mentioning what this is all about is that house hunters, especially in Canada's major cities, often find their dream homes only to then start scrambling for enough deposit money, frequently drawing upon several sources. If it's not as large as it could be, their offers could be rejected immediately. So it's an option. Maybe I'm thinking adding it, so get as much cash as you can for your regular deposit. But this might be a good backup if you should need it. Many Canadians' home equity is tied up in their homes. And because pulling it out is contingent on a bank appraisal, which can take time, that dream home risks slipping through the hopeful buyer's fingers can happen, and it happens all the time. Banks are taking a long time to approve these, lines of credits on your current equity. So it's taken a lot longer than everyone thinks. So when you make an offer, you attach this guarantee to it, and if you're a successful bidder, you pay the deposit amount at closing, not instantly. So it's an insurance, the bond is what it is for that deposit, saying that you're a buyer, you're good to go for it. So that's the deposit rocket. There's more information if you Google it, go online, but be sure as a buyer that you talk to your realtor about your deposit, where it's coming from, how much do you have instantly, and talk to your bank and be prepared and know that, trying to get it from different sources takes a lot longer nowadays than it did, a year prior. Everything's taking longer nowadays.
Absolutely. Well, with that, we should probably think about taking a break. If people want to get in touch with you and find out more information about what you do, what can they do?
MicheleCummins.ca.
And we'll be back with more right after this. Segment number 2 of the Cummins Real Estate Group show with local rock star realtor Michele Cummins and myself, Curtis Pope. Now, I know you've been chomping at the bit. You can't wait to get to it. We got to get to some stats.
Okay, the stats are ready to be released, and we are releasing them today. They just came out actually a couple days ago. So the highlight, listen to this: March shatters monthly sales and new listing records in the Fraser Valley. I mean, listing records. Now, that is what we were looking for. That is what all buyers were looking for, and that's what everyone was looking for was more listings to the market. And typically in April, you actually do have, a rise in listings. But I think the starting of the vaccination starting to roll out is also kind of making sellers a little bit more comfortable in listing their properties. But, okay, listen to what the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board has said. So the Fraser Valley Real Estate hit 2 historically highs in March. So again, it was setting records for both sales and new listings processed in the month, and since 1921. I mean, that's amazing. In March, the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board processed 3,329 residential and commercial sales. That's an increase of 131% compared to March of last year and 18% more than February. Larry Anderson is our new president for this year, and he says regarding the stats, this market is uncharted territory for Fraser Valley Real Estate. The surprising strength of the economy, the influence of the pandemic, and a lack of inventory of all property types has created unprecedented demand for housing in our region. It is very stressful for buyers. Realtors are working hard to guide them through what has become just a really protracted, powerful seller's market. As we continue to help our clients grapple with escalating prices and multiple offers, March did bring some good news. It set a record for volume of new listings received, improving selection. So the board received 5,087 new listings in March. That's an increase of 91% compared to March of last year and 56% more than were processed in February. Across Fraser Valley in March, the average number of days for a single-family detached home to sell was 15 days, and a townhouse was 14 days, and a condo took an average 31 days to sell. So benchmark prices for single-family detached homes across the Fraser Valley was $1,237,900. That's an increase of 6.4% compared to February and increase of 25.3% compared to March of last year. Townhouses are at a benchmark price of $624,500, and that's an increase of 4% compared to February and an increase of 13.7% compared to last year. Condos are benchmark priced at $465,400, and that's an increase of 3.2% compared to February, and an increase of 6.5% compared to March of last year. And so now we'll dive into the municipalities. So where do you live and what's happening? And if you're about to sell or want to sell, where are you buying and what's happening there if you're buying in the Fraser Valley? So Abbotsford, okay, so benchmark price for detached homes are currently at $1,068,300, and that is a 29.7% increase year over year and 8% increase month over month. Townhouses are at $515,000, and that's an increase of 12.8% year over year and 2.6% month over month. Condos are at $354,600, an increase of 10.5% year over year and 5.6% month over month. Mission benchmark price for detached homes are $887,500. A big whopping 31.2% increase from last year and 7.9% increase from the month before. Townhouses in Mission are at $503,000. That's an increase of 10.3% from last year and 1.6% month over month. Condos are at $389,800. That's an increase of 13.7% year over year and 4.6% month over month. So far, everything's still up and up. White Rock benchmark price for detached homes are at $1,625,000. That's an increase of 23.1% from last year and 5.1% from the month before. And townhouses are at $744,300, an increase of 16.3% of last year and 3% from the month before. And condos are at $531,500, an increase of 9.7% from last year and, yes, an increase of 3.7% from the month before. Langley detached benchmark prices are at $1,279,600, an increase of 24.6% from last year and an increase of 5.7% from the month before. Townhouses, $635,500. 13.2% increase year over year and 3.9% increase month over month. And Langley condos, $434,000. That is an increase of 7.7% from last year and an increase of 4.5% from the month before. Delta benchmark detached prices are $1,134,000. That's an increase of 21.8% from last year and 6.1% from the month before. Townhouses at $813,700, 9.2% increase from last year and 3.6% increase from months before. Condos, $400,900, increase of 2.9% from last year and 0.9% from the month before. And lastly, the big city of Surrey. Detached benchmark home prices are at $1,336,700. That is an increase of 23.7% from last year and 6% from the month before. Townhouses are $652,300, increase of 14.3% from last year, and yes, an increase of 4.5% from the month before. Condos are $426,200, an increase of 5.9% from last year and 2.3% from the month before. And that is your Fraser Valley Real Estate statistics brought to you by the Cummins Real Estate Group here on Country 107.1 FM.
Wow, look at that. That was a lot of stats, and you got it all out like in one breath.
I don't think I breathed that whole time.
No, did you blink?
No.
No, I didn't think so. You just were. I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a roll.
Yeah, don't let my role be disturbed.
Nope, didn't want to go there, didn't want to upset the apple cart. Now, I was going to ask you, now, my wife, of course, as you know, loves real estate, is watching, the HD TV channel constantly, and still, even though we've found our new house, likes to look. She likes to window shop. And she goes, man, Michelle's got a lot of listings right now. And I imagine you must have some new listings, too.
I do. Actually, I've got the newest one was just a couple days ago. It hit the market, and so it's a great one to see this weekend. It's off 80A Avenue in Langley, and it is a row home. What's a row home? Well, it's not a strata. So it's click above townhouse. So it may look and appear like a townhouse, but it is not. It is a row home. It is single, freehold, non-strata. So this one is 3 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It is 2,300 square feet, and it's fabulous. It was built 10 years ago, and it's just ready to go. And quick possession is possible. And it's $979,900, which actually, because it's an end unit, it's got extra windows, it's got that extra privacy, and the corner end unit just opposite of it sold and much was higher than that in the list price. So my clients here she's being really reasonable. She's all, Michele, let's list it at this and let's go for it. So this is a great deal. So that one, if you're looking for something under $1 million and you want to be in Langley, it is a beautiful one, good size, nice kitchen and everything. And then another one is coming up next week, and it is in East Abbotsford. It's at 2465 Mountain Drive, and it's an almost 8,000 square foot lot. And this landscaping and the renovations, that they've been in there for years, and they just do such a good job of renovating. It is beautiful. It's literally the cat's meow. It's beautiful. It's a white kitchen. They've done all the upgrades, everything that you'd want, heated floors in the ensuite. Oh, I love it. And it's got lots of good space. So it's a true 2-story, and it does have a view of Mount Baker, and it's 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. It's got a really great, good-sized office on the main floor, good-sized kitchen, open concept to the family room, and they've got a brand new, really good-sized, wonderful hot tub. Oh my gosh, it's brand new. And then there's this really cool cabin in the back that you can actually create as a private office or a studio or anything you want. It's really cute. It matches the house. And then there's this whole entertaining kind of area, and it's really low maintenance backyard. And the front yard is just, it's gorgeous. It's all professionally landscaped. So that one is hitting the market probably Wednesday, but I'm happy to show anybody early before it hits the market. The price is $1,198,000, which is really fair for the area. And the size of the house is 3,000, just a little over 3,000 square feet. So I'm going to have all my media on that ready to go by Wednesday morning, if not Tuesday. So if anybody's interested, that's the one coming up next week. And then if we have a couple more minutes here, I wanted to mention the banking regulator is aiming to make it tougher to get an uninsured mortgage. And so just telling everybody that the expected implementation date for this, where they're going to implement it.
It's a tough word. I don't like that one either.
Thank you. I'm not alone. It's June 1st, so that's today. And what it is if you don't want an insured mortgage, if you're looking at putting 20% or more down on a property, which a lot of people are, they're going to use a lot of their equity and put a large chunk down, they're going to have to actually now be approved at a higher rate. So the mortgage contract rate plus 200 basis points or 5.2% as a minimum floor. So they're going to make it harder to approve for what you're going for. So even though interest rates may be low, they're going to have to approve you on that higher rate. So that one is going to roll out June 1st. And literally, this is their way of trying to soften a bit or regulate, I should say, slow down the red-hot housing market that we're having. So always when we have a hike, as I say, it lasts about a year and a half. And then why does it start slowing down? Well, a lot of things like the government and different changes so that it does slow it down a bit because people are getting worried and there's news releases and it scares the government and they start making changes that helps it kind of soften or slow it down. And so that one's coming out June 1st. So just want to make sure everybody knew. Oh, and guess what? I'm so excited. Again, not just because it's a stat show, but on Monday, I'm starting another 21-day challenge. Fitness challenge. Do you remember when I did one last year? I think it was December.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, there's Coach Austin is owner of Studio Fit RX in Mission, and we do it online, but it's a great, fabulous group of girls, and I just had such a good time doing it last time. She's doing another one starting Monday, and I'm doing it, Curtis. I'm so excited because it's just going to make me more energetic and just keep me motivated and everything. And that is what brings me to our quote of the week, because it is, wherever you go, go with all your heart. And I'm going to go at it with all my heart.
That's a good quote. I like that one.
That's one from Confucius.
Oh, very cool. All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. Well, if people want more information, or maybe they want to get in touch with you to sell their house or buy a house, or they just need a whole bunch of information before they decide, where can they go?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And once again, make plans to join us again next week when once again we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.